Hey everyone, hope Brendan is doing well. I am recording this for the third time because the first time I started rambling about nonsense. The second time, I guess I hit some button that made it not record. So this will be my third time. Hopefully, the third time is a charm with that. But with my previous week of training, some of the highlights that I had with it was a 85% squat at 320 pounds or 145 kilograms for a double on the last day. I had some block work for the snatches from above the knee and from mid thigh that I changed to just being hang snatches of the same variety. On the first day of the week, I had my heaviest set of snatches up to 195 pounds for supposed to be 2 sets of 3. First set of 3 went fine. The second set of 3, I got the first rep, missed the second rep, got the third rep, missed the fourth rep. Took a minute or two off and then went and did another single. On the second day, because I had that miss and I was kind of annoyed by it, I worked up to, after my hang snatch work, I worked up to that 195 and did that for a triple. And despite the extra volume, my shoulder held up pretty well during the week. I took some ibuprofen the first couple days of the week to make sure that I was able to get warmed up and get through my workouts all right. On the extra days, I have not taken any. So it is a positive step because I was able to do some snatches today up to, I think it was 90%, 225 or 102 for a single. After I missed 215, but I missed that behind me. And my shoulders actually felt good with it, despite my whole body feeling tired, which is kind of an oxymoronic feeling. But I didn't really take much caffeine before I lifted. I just drank coffee and also had some adult beverages last night before I went to bed. So I was not necessarily hungover, but I was definitely tired, more on the tired end, and a little bit more sore than I would normally be with that sort of stuff. And it just went really well today, so I was happy with that. Also did some snatch pulls from a deficit, which was a really interesting and probably a really good exercise for me to do. The Friday, which is I'd like to make it my heavy day because it gives me the most days recovered before the next week of training. I tried to max out my clean pull plus clean, which I missed 320 or 145 kilograms because I couldn't stand up the clean, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. My legs were tired from that front squat the previous day. I then repeated just the clean part with that same 145 kg, and I was able to do the clean, and actually looked pretty easy. Didn't feel easy, but on the video it looked like I stood it up pretty easily. Then did a bunch of back squat doubles. I think it was like 5 or 6 sets of doubles with 325 or that's like, I don't know, 147. And then did a snatch deadlift where I worked up to 455 or 205 maybe. I know 200 is 440, so about 15 more pounds than that. So I don't know, 205-ish, 206. I missed 505, which I was that 230 something or 225, somewhere around there. It's just couldn't break it off the ground. The snatch deadlift is obviously I'm pretty good at that, but my hips shot up when I was doing even over 400 pounds. So it's not going to be very beneficial for me to do a lot unless I'm trying to work on the deadlift. It is what it is with that. Yeah, I was just wanted to see where I could theoretically go. So I think my best before was 455 when I was a power lifter a couple of years ago. And that was in chucks and with a different bar and not after doing cleans and stuff like that. So if it's not my best snatch grip deadlift, it's pretty darn close to there. And it's accounting for the other work that I did that day, definitely have improved from where I was previously with that. Because my body's a little beat up, a little just not really beat up in a bad way. It's just tired from all the work I've done this week. Tomorrow will be a pretty light day. I want to do some plyometric work, but I mostly want to focus on just a lot of mobility and massage and just trying to essentially just warm up so my body feels good for tomorrow, or for Monday, I should say, because next week I do have some heavier work on the different days. On the Monday, I work up to 85% on the snatch, 83% on the clean and jerk, and then the pulls have increased from the top sets of being up to 85% to 90%, and then just general squatting during the week that progresses up because I have on the third day a 90% front squat, which will be at 154 thereabouts. I know 150 is 330, so it's 340, so about 10 more pounds than that, so about 154-ish. For a single, after doing 145 for a double, and then other sets before that, On the last day of the week, I have to work up to 85% again on the snatch. I have a lot more sets before then, ranging from 48% all the way up to that 85% of a bunch of different work, which will make that day just more taxing, taxing in a good way. Then I have that clean and jerks again up to 83%, and then back squats up to 85% for a double there. So it'll be a lot of challenging work on the first and last day of the week, and that may change what I do on the extra days of the week. I may, not push myself as heavy, not trying to do like a heavy clean or anything, because I'm sure my legs will be extra tired. And really just have to continue to play with those extra 3 days to see what I can do that's not going to absolutely destroy me, but is still going to challenge me in those different ways. I'm hoping that my shoulder continues to loosen up. I think, despite me continuing to put my body to work, I think it's holding up pretty well. It definitely has not got worse. I would say it's not. The fact that I was able to snatch today, I spent a long time warming up because I was talking to a friend that came from out of town, and I just spent a lot of time warming up because he was snatching, and I was like, oh, let's see, see if my shoulder will loosen up and if I can do, some snatching if I'm able to. My whole body was extremely tired, but after a little while, my upper body started to loosen up, which was nice. I realized something with snatches, which is very helpful today, was that instead of trying to really focus on rotating my arms in a way that will make my upper back tight, to really just focus on my upper back, and my arms will kind of just play along and stay tight with them. And that was really helping with the snatches because I wasn't maxing out. I think I went up to 90% or 225, 102, and did that for a single after I missed 215 or it was like 98 kilograms behind me. And what I realized is that if I really focus on my upper back being tight, that it allows me to be stronger in that bottom position and allows my arms to be stronger. So I kind of tighten my arms through my back. And before I was thinking much more of pushing up through my arms. I still do think of like punching under the snatch to stabilize it, but really focused on my tightness of the scaps and really just having those flexed when I was catching it. And I think that really helped. So hopefully I take that cue or that thought into the snatches I do during the week and perform well with them. Going up to 85% will be difficult, and I'm hoping that my shoulder will hold up. I'm assuming that it will because I'm going to do a lot of good work with it tomorrow and not try to be stupid and do anything that's like pressing or anything like that. But overall, I had a really good week of training. And before I sign off on this video, I will do a little update about school stuff because I'll have a very hectic week next week before we let out for winter break. So I have 3 meetings that I have to do, and I'm hoping to get some paperwork back from a student, so that will create more work for me in a positive way because I'll be able to get the paperwork done. But I will, of course, want to get. I have a meeting on Monday, a meeting on Tuesday maybe, which I have to double check that day. But I'm going to go into work tomorrow to do some paperwork stuff to get ready for the meeting on Monday as well as Tuesday. I'm hoping that after a meeting for the ETR in the middle of the week, that I will be able to have the IEP for that same student later in the week. Apologize for that. Justin loves to be loud when I'm recording. But anywho, I'm hoping to get the IEP in later in the week. If I can't, it's not the end of the world because I can do it after winter break. I just wanted to make sure I have an attempt, and it would be nice on my end to get it in because then I would be able to get the paperwork all submitted before I go to winter break, and then that would give me a lot of time to work on Reza stuff, which will be my big thing to do during winter break. I think I'm happy with my video. I'm not going to worry about trying to record an additional video. I'm just going to focus on the paperwork for the Reza stuff because the only opportunity I'll have to record another video if I wanted to would be in this last week before we let out for break because it is due on the 11th of January, and where our teachers are there. It's like a teacher work day, so it's not even the day where students would be there, so I obviously wouldn't be able to record anything on that day. That would be completely crazy to do, seeing how it would be due that day. But I'm hoping that because I've got a good start on it now as far as on the paperwork end of things, that I'll be able to continue to develop that to make it as high of a quality as I can and get that all submitted. And that should make my life easier because then that will make me just have to do paperwork, IAP stuff throughout the spring. And then I think in April is when the middle or the end of April. I'm not exactly sure on the day. I'm pretty sure it's April though. find out if I passed or not. With that, I'm pretty confident that I will pass. There's not really any reason I shouldn't, because I know how to do the paperwork. I've done it with student teaching, almost the same exact stuff that is on there, and it's just making sure that it has it has things on it that talk in the way that I would want them to show my teaching stuff. And you know, at the end of the day, if I don't pass, then I don't pass. But I'm pretty confident in that because a lot of teachers have passed. So it's not an impossible thing by any stretch of the imagination with that, as long as I don't, you know, waste my time or not put the effort into that. Because I'm not stupid. I know how to do work, and I'm pretty good at that stuff. But I have that to do over winter break. On the last 2 days before winter break, that Thursday and Friday, the students have early dismissals, so that will make my days very easy on those days because students will be leaving at 1:35. Not exact. I think it's several hours before, but then we still have to stay until the end of the day to do some reading literacy work, which is nice because that's one of the things. Like we have this reading program that they're trying to put us through, and I think it's a lot of good information. I just literally don't have the time to sit down, and I'm not going to sit on the weekends and spend all my time on this literacy program when if I'm going to spend time at school, it's going to be with the paperwork or the rest of stuff, which is more directly beneficial to what I want to do with my teaching, or what I need to do, I should say. And they are, I guess, are like our school got this reading grant, which allowed us to get this reading program to learn about. I guess it's not really a reading program; it's more of a reading philosophy about how to teach in different ways. But they're going to give us time to actually go through the different modules that they have, which is really nice because, like before, you know, I don't know how many people were doing them, but I frankly just did not have the time with all the other school obligations that I had, and I was not about to waste my life away with essentially a college course because it could actually count as a college course if you paid for the credits. I'm not paying for the credits, so I mean it's still essentially the same thing. There's just I think a little bit more to do with the college course, but not that much more. It's just a lot more money, obviously with that. So that would be nice that they will give us that time for that for like early dismissal days, like these next 2 days or the last 2 days before break, and a couple different days. I think one of the professional development days will be a day where we're able to do that stuff. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think it'll be good. And as I move into the spring half of the school year, I think having the rest of the stuff done and just having paperwork essentially to do outside, obviously, instruction will make my life a lot less stressful, and it'll be nice to have that stuff done. As far as any specifics of school and the goings on of that, I have I don't know. I mean, when I think about it, it's just like normal school stress. It hasn't been anything too radical. I definitely have a preference to work with my fifth graders than my sixth graders, and that's simply because of the teenage-ness of the older students with it. It's definitely hit or miss with different students on different days, but in general, fifth graders, I should say, tend to be easier to work with. And that's not to say that the sixth grade team is not good. I have worked with a great set of teachers, which is really nice to have. It's really just student behavior that drives my desire to work with one grade versus another. But the actual like sixth grade team is phenomenal. They work very collaboratively together, which makes dealing with the behavior management of the sixth graders much more manageable because of that. If they didn't collaborate as well, or just weren't as good teachers as they are, then it would be absolutely hell to to work with those kids. But they certainly are helpful, and you know, there's always things trying to improve with different students and to get different things just going and improving. So that's kind of, you know, it isn't anything that's radically different than what I've talked about before, so I won't dive into all the nitty gritty of that. But yeah, just trying to get better, and as I get more paperwork and this rest of the stuff turned in, that will be more of my focus is the instruction and not just all the fun stuff that's outside of school with that. But outside of lifting, outside of school, there isn't anything too radically interesting going on. The gym is actually progressing. We've got a couple new members, and we're trying to really push for that to get up to that number of 50 members, which will make us a self-sustaining, I guess would be the word for it, self-sustaining business. So we're not making money, but we're also not losing money. So that will be that is the goal to get to with that. But with that being said, I think that's about it that I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you all had a great week, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Peace.